On today's episode, we're going to talk about leasing versus financing.
What's up, guys? So,
Financing versus
leasing.
Leasing. What are the differences?
And this is today we're gonna talk about this topic with a real example. You know, my wife's car.
Yeah.
Because honestly, we didn't. You know, we've been in the industry for a few years now, and we come to understand a lot of financing. And car values, customer credit, all that kind of stuff. But we never really got involved into the leasing world. My wife, she's been leasing a car, a 2016 Land Rover Range Rover Sport. She got it brand new from the Range Rover dealership in Orlando. Mm-hmm. Okay. So She got a lease for 33 months, almost 3 years. Okay. So basically, you know, I was doing the calculation, the math yesterday, because she's coming to an end on the lease, and we're trying to see what she's gonna do next.
Right. Okay.
So we went to the dealership and talked to them and try to get information on what's the process, what are the options, and all that. So we went in and they asked us, okay, what you want to do, right? So obviously she doesn't want to put any money down, and she ideally wants to have the payment lower than
what she has right now.
Payment is, okay? So we talked to the salesman, the dealership, and all that, and you know, I finally kind of understood the whole leasing program, right. Okay?
Because it's
different.
It's different. And like you said before, even us, we don't really understand that much, because leasing is more for new cars.
It's for new or pre-owned.
Exactly. But you don't see it that much on used
pre-owned.
But you don't see it that much.
No.
It's like every time that you meet someone and they tell you that they have a lease, they got it new pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's something that not everybody understands.
Right. So basically, the main difference between a lease and an auto loan financing a car is that a lease, you just owe the money for that certain term. Okay. So if your lease is for 33 months, at the end of the lease, that's it. You don't owe anything to anybody.
It's renting.
It's renting. It's a rent.
It's a contract.
Right.
It's renting with a it's renting. Yeah, it's renting with a contract.
You're renting a car.
Just long term.
Yeah. You're renting a car for three years. At the end of the, leasing term, that's it. So at the end of the leasing term, they'll give you have pretty much two options. The first one, it's that you buy the car. You have the option to purchase the car from your lending, from your leasing company. And the purchase amount, the buyout amount, it the first day. It's on the contract. So like I was explaining you, the day she started leasing the car, on the contract is very clear. They tell her, if you decide to buy your car at the end of the lease, this is the amount that you have to pay.
Right.
Which is $47,000. Okay. It doesn't matter if the car has 1,000 miles at the end of the lease or 100,000 miles. Doesn't matter the condition, but they give you that option. You can buy the car at the end of the lease for $47,000. That's one of the options she has.
But it's probably, I guess you could do at the beginning when you're just getting into a loan, you could see that number and do your own calculation.
Totally.
And see if it makes sense.
Absolutely.
And it probably,
you can get an idea.
You get an idea
where you're going to be at.
And it probably doesn't really make sense.
No.
Like from day one, you see in 3 years, they're going to sell me that car for $48,000. That doesn't make sense.
No.
Probably.
Which in this case does not make sense
at all. Didn't make sense. Yeah.
Okay.
What's the other option?
So the other option is to trade in. Well, you have three options.
Okay.
The second option is to get into another lease. Okay, you return that one. The bank is gonna want you to keep as a customer, want to keep you as a customer. Okay, they have a few programs, incentive. Okay, don't worry about anything, what you want to have your payments, where you want to be with your payments and all, but they'll find you another car. And then you work out a deal if you want to have another lease. Okay? Like I said, the bank is, you've been paying for 3 years on a car. I'm sure they want to keep you as a customer. Okay? So they're going to try to work something out as a lease. Okay? Or you can trade it in, right? And finance another car or buy another car. So we asked about the trading option, but then they did an appraisal. The trading value is about $39,000, and the buyout it's $47,000. That's a $9,000 difference. That is stupid, right? Negative equity you have there.
Right.
So that wouldn't be an option at all. At all.
Right.
Not even close.
Yeah, because it means that the
car depreciated
exactly
faster than expected. But here's the thing, that happened because
not faster than expected, just what it is.
Well, no, yes, because remember the leasing, they have an expected depreciation. That's what you're paying, right? But this is what happened, for example, on my wife's case, is that she needed to have lower payments. So the capital that she paid, the value, it was lower than average, than usual. Her payment shouldn't be like $200 more a month for that car. So if you were to add the extra $200 a month at the end of the 33 months, you will have a lower residual value on the car.
But also she would have
paid more. Right, obviously. But that's what happens pretty much because they have an expected depreciation on the car. Okay? Because remember, they also tell you can only drive it up to 15,000 miles, and that's all calculated. You can drive it more, but they're going to charge you.
Right.
Remember. So that's what happened there. So no trade-in because it wouldn't be insane, right? So, but out of the two scenarios, okay, if we would have financed that car, we wouldn't be in a worse spot because then
we're stuck with the car.
We're stuck with the car, or you will try to trade it in and then transfer negative equity onto the other car that you're buying, which is the worst thing that you can do. Right. Now, the fact that she's leasing and her contract ends at the end of the 33 months, that's it. She's not responsible for anything else. She can just return the car and try to see what else she wants to do.
Right.
But that's the benefit.
But also she's out of a car.
Out of a car out of a car.
So she will need a new down payment and everything.
Maybe she doesn't need a down payment. She's a prime customer. That's what we're trying to find out. But I told her, like, you need to find a cheaper car because if you try to have lower payments, I did the math for her, and the salesman at the dealership told her, like, there's no possible way to get a better car, a bigger car,
right,
or even the same car with no down payment and have a lower payment.
Right.
They offer the smaller version, the Evoque. But it's lower. So I told her, look, we have to find a different brand, not a Land Rover, a different brand and a cheaper car.
Right.
That's what you have to do, and that's what we're working right now. But, that's every situation is different. Every personal situation and scenario is different. If you're that type of person that wants to have a newer car every 2 years, leasing is the best option because at the end of the day, at the end of the term, then you're not responsible for any negative equity. You just simply return the car or try to work something out with the leasing company to put you in another car.
But right, exactly. They have to get you into. If you're a person that likes to
keep changing the cars
keep
and
changing the cars.
stay in a new car. Yeah.
But not only returning the car, because otherwise you would be stuck without a car, and you need a car.
Exactly.
So you need to work out the way so you can get another car, return that lease, but get another lease.
Right.
But you say that it's hard to get the same type of vehicle. Damn. The same type of vehicle for without a down payment.
No, it is possible, but remember, my wife wanted to have a lower payment.
Okay.
So it was impossible to get a lower payment. It was impossible to get the same type of car, but just new. No down payment and lower payments.
Right.
You can definitely get the same monthly payment with no down payment, the same type of car.
Okay.
Most likely, I'm sure they're going to try to work something out, but
Right.
get a lower payment, no down payments, no, it's
Right.
no way. Like financially, impossible.
Okay.
You
So
know?
then it makes sense for a person that wants to. I mean, they're
Totally.
good with their $500
Keep
or
paying
whatever.
your monthly payment.
So it's a
and
rental. Return. Give me a new one.
Exactly.
Return. Give me a new one. Return it. So that's
Exactly.
perfect for that type of person. Yeah, that's excellent for
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
But also the problem with that, like the situation that your wife is in right now, it's also just the vehicle. Just, buying a new vehicle. It's gonna depreciate like that,
Right.
no matter what.
Well, that's
And
what I was saying. Like
Especially those brands.
3 years, it cost her about $36,000
Right.
to drive that car,
Yeah.
which is the monthly payments, 33 monthly payments plus the down payment she put. $36,000. You can do the math. That's a lot of money, man.
Right.
In 3 years, that is just nowhere. That's it. you
Right,
know?
for renting.
So
the car.
I know there's a better option. That's what I'm trying to convince her. But yeah,
Yeah, and depending, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a better option. It's just depending if you're willing to spend that kind of money. If you're good with that,
yeah,
you're good. But it's a premium that you're paying.
it's a high premium.
A high premium that you're paying for having a new vehicle.
High
That
premium.
it's going to
Yeah.
depreciate like that. But if you're looking into a new vehicle, probably lease
Yeah,
than buying it.
yeah.
Because in the other case, you would be stuck.
Unless you can find a really good deal on a new car, like way below market, way below the MSRP, that you're not that the
You're not gonna lose.
depreciation is not beating you. You know what I mean?
But is that even possible?
Sometimes, man, like December, I'm sure like the dealerships are trying to like get, I don't know, might be possible. Maybe you don't find it at every dealership, but I've seen some crazy deals like $10,000 below MSRP, stuff like that. That, you're almost there with the depreciation,
Right.
but then you got to find them because they're not everywhere. You got to find them. So that's the thing, There are tools, to find good deals, so it's not
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah. So it's not as complicated as I thought.
No, it's
just-
actually easier.
You actually have to like think a little bit and compare it. I think the easiest way to understand it is compare it with a normal loan.
Right.
So that way you know exactly what's happening
At the same.
the same moment.
Yeah.
Like whenever in the 3 years, what's happening here and what's happening here.
Right.
And at the moment.
But
that
the way
happens.
I see it is that everything is based off of the value of the car, how much you're buying it for.
Mhm.
That's the key, man. Like, honestly, like if you're buying the car at normal value, you're going to get beaten by the depreciation. But if you
Yeah.
find a good deal, you take care of the car and all that stuff, you might be ahead of the depreciation. And at the end of the term, 3 years from now, you might even have equity on the car. But you got to be smart.
Mhm.
Or you can also lease a certified pre-owned.
Probably not as
It's not as bad as
Right.
a new car. It's the same, and it's still under warranty, all that stuff. Same stuff. Yeah, it's gonna have some miles, but I'm sure you can find one for like 5,000 miles, and they still do leases on those pre-owned,
Right.
certified pre-owned.
Yeah, and you won't eat the whole depreciation because
Exactly.
that's what happens with a new one. You eat
Everything.
everything, but with a pre-owned, you eat just a part, not
Yeah.
everything. Whoever had it first
So
got a big hit as well.
that's what we're working on. I understand. Again, we understand getting something new that no one has touched before. No one has. It's cool. It's a cool feeling.
Right,
Maybe it's an achievement, probably, but is it worth it?
right.
To
Yeah.
me, it's not.
Yeah, it's something
It's the same
mental.
car.
It's something mental.
Yeah, it's
Of
my.
pride, maybe. I don't know.
That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, but is it worth it? No, not to me.
Right.
Not to me to pay a premium just for the fact that it hasn't been owned before, hasn't been driven before. It's the same car, and you're covered. You might have a concern. Oh, but so many miles, blah blah blah. But it's just still under factory warranty. It's the same thing, so nothing to worry about.
Right. Well, the only thing that I could think of is that if you are in the position, you have a lot of money, you just don't care, and
Just don't care. That's the key word. Don't care.
exactly, like you have a lot of money
Yeah,
and you don't care. You
yeah.
don't care about spending it.
Yeah.
Just you want to spend your money, and you could argue, okay, I can buy a new car, no miles, full warranty, or I can buy a used car with 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles, no full warranty as well. So I'm covered with both. But maybe in my mind, and I'm trying to paint an scenario. In my mind, the one that has been driven 1,000 miles has more chance of something going wrong than the new one. And I might be covering both of them, but just the inconvenience. You know?
Totally.
It's a very first world problem. But that's what
Very.
but that's what people could argue about. Like, okay, I'll get the car with 5,000 miles. It has a little bit more chance that something could go wrong because it already been on the street and the other one hasn't.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I see people arguing about.
But yeah.
And I would say, well, go spend your money. Yeah.
All right. So hopefully we clear something, the differences between financing and leasing. Look,
You need to let us know.
Yeah.
Like we need to do another podcast after you,
I already gave her my recommendation.
but after you actually get into a different car and see. I don't know. I think it could be cool to see
yeah.
now that you have more understanding of a lease. Maybe
Yeah,
you
that
could
one
get something out of it.
The Range Rover is gonna get returned, because the trading the car in is not possible. Because even if they give you 40 grand for it, the buyout is 47 grand. That's $7,000 that you gotta see what you're gonna do, with it.
Yeah.
So the Range Rover, no doubt, is gonna get returned to the leasing company. But then, I gave her my suggestions, and but I cannot make her decide for what I suggest. What I
Right.
mean? It's her car. But that's what we're working on. Trying to find the best deal and see the options, whether to lease again or finance. That's what we're, because also we have to make the decision based on what's available in the market.
Right.
Because if I tell her, look, let's lease a pre-owned, but we want to have lower miles. We don't want to lease a 2018 with 30,000 miles. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a little bit too many miles for being a 2018. So if we find something around 10,000 miles, maybe less, 15 maybe, and it's a good deal, if the price is good compared to the value, we have to see what's available.
So that was your recommendation?
My recommendation.
What was it?
I
Maybe
have
there's someone out there with
I
the
have
same
two
position.
recommendations. Either lease a pre-owned, a certified pre-owned, but again, we have to see what's available. Because I was doing a search, and a lot of the certified pre-owned, they have like 30,000 miles. I wouldn't even recommend those to my wife,
Right.
because that's 30,000. That's 3 times more than the average per year. That's too much.
So it's not as, now that you have been looking and searching, it's not as easy to
It's
find
not easy.
a pre-owned for lease.
No,
Not as
with
easy.
decent miles.
Okay. Right.
I just did a quick search. I haven't really searched in depth, but and then my second option was to get a loan for for the amount that she's looking at, to get a really good interest rate, and then buy the car you want, the best deal possible, or I can buy it for you at the auction. But again, we have to see what's available,
Right.
because it's not that I can. Oh, you want a 2018 with 5,000 miles? I have it right there. No, we have to see what's available,
Right.
and then what's available to purchase. Or
Well, that
So-
would probably be easier.
that will probably be easier and the best option.
Because, I mean, you have, it's not like right there, but you will find it.
We will find
3 weeks
it.
or something
That's
like
what
that.
I told her. But we're trying to see what she wants. Like I said, I cannot force her to go with my suggestion.
Right.
But and then the Lexus. We're looking at the Lexus GX, which I think is a beautiful SUV, man. We haven't seen them in person yet. We've seen the pictures, and I think that's the one she's going to like. Because I told her, look, you have to let me know which car you want. Like, okay, I want a Lexus GX or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, because
Or a
it's
Toyota
every-
4Runner, whatever.
every car is different. It's going to depreciate different. and
Right.
All of that.
So, and then we'll find the best deal for you, or best leasing or financing. So that's what we're working on.
It could happen that maybe on different cars, maybe on one type of car it's better to lease, and maybe on a different
Exactly.
car it's better to buy because of the depreciation.
Exactly, because look, it's pretty interesting. I was on the Lexus website the other day, and you know how they have these offers, right? Which obviously you have to qualify for them. For the GX, which is the one that she's looking at, the interest rate was a 1 point something. For the LX SUV, which is the bigger one, the offer was 4 point something APR. I'm like, wow. You see, like, even the offers change a lot depending on the car, on the model. So I'm like, this car is more expensive, the LX, and they offer a higher interest rate. You see what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So that you also have to see what are the offers,
yeah.
So, but again, we always come down to the value of the car, because if you're buying a car at a good price, you're gonna be in a better spot,
Yeah.
So that's my
You
opinion.
gotta do your research as
Exactly. We find a really nice one. It's below market. It's got decent miles. 2018. It's white. I think it's got like 10,000 miles, which is, I think it's good. It's got good options. We have to see what's available for that car. If they lease it, I think that's probably the best option, or if she can get the approval from a bank for low interest rate and for the amount, we might do it. We have to see.
What was the win?
But we'll give you we'll give you an update on what we do and how everything
Yeah.
went.
I think that would be cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the smart choice, or if you find out something else that
Right.
we didn't know.
Right.
Yeah. So today's the 21st. This is the last podcast before Christmas. So Merry Christmas to
Dang.
everybody.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. And that's it.
All right.
Peace out.